38岁大龄单身。
I'm 38, single. There are 3 good things about being with me. You can choose. First, with me, you don't need a house, a car, a bride price, or the traditional 3 and 5 golden jewelry. Second, you can smoke and drink, but you can't gamble, you can't solicit prostitutes, and you can't be abusive. Third, you can't mention divorce after being with me. I've stated my requirements, so do you still want to be with me? I just want to find a down-to-earth man to live a down-to-earth life.
过踏踏实实的日子。
A startling statistic has recently been circulating at the matchmaking corner in Shanghai's People's Park. The male-to-female ratio is a staggering 1 to 9. This ratio does not reflect Shanghai's true population structure, but rather reflects a structural imbalance in the matchmaking market. There are over 2 million single women in Shanghai with generally high levels of education and income, naturally leading to higher expectations for marriage. However, the higher the education level and the more accomplished a woman is, the more likely she is to find herself in the predicament of not being able to find a suitable partner. Shanghai will definitely be the city with the most leftover women, and also the city with the most single people. Shanghai's dating market can be said to be the top in the country. There are all kinds of beauties. In other places, beauties might just be simply pretty, referring to their looks, but Shanghai beauties are different. They are not only pretty, but also highly educated and can earn their own money. All the hard and soft qualities are excellent. Most men standing next to them look like simple appendages. It's no exaggeration to say that such women are everywhere in Shanghai. I'm a local Shanghainese born in 1998, flight attendant, master's degree, own a car and a house. Identity, does your ID start with 310? Yes. How much do you think a guy needs to earn per month to be considered acceptable? Judging a guy shouldn't be based on how much he earns, but on his character. Even if he earns a lot, I wouldn't like him if he had a bad character. But if he earns $700, has good character, and treats me well, I think that's okay. Ideally, he should have a stable job. What type of guy do you like? I like someone mature, kind to me, and caring. I'm a 41-year-old single woman. It's not that I don't want to get married, it's that I really can't find anyone. Because nowadays, single women of that age are all very selective. They don't want a house, they don't want a car, and they're even willing to pay a dowry. $7,000 is simply not enough. Some people even say that they'd pay $50,000 or $70,000. It seems I really can't find anyone. Am I really destined to be alone forever? On the other hand, many men, even if single, are unwilling to enter the matchmaking market. They may feel too much pressure or believe their conditions don't meet the standards of matchmaking corners. In reality, marriage often means buying a house, a stable income, and taking on family responsibilities. And the economic and psychological costs of a failed marriage are quite high. Under such circumstances, some men choose to postpone marriage or even give up on marriage altogether. What do you think of this female guest? She's alright. What year was she born? Me? I'm 35. This guy is 37. Do you think he's okay? No. What's wrong with him? He's too short. How tall are you looking for? At least 175 centimeters. How tall are you? 160 centimeters. You're 160 centimeters and you want to find someone 175 centimeters? You're 35 years old. Do you think your standards are too high? Not high, normal standards. You're looking for a man, not a sow for breeding. Why are you so demanding? A lot of people just asked me for my WeChat, but I didn't give it to them. Shanghai woman, please stop treating the top requirements for men as the bare minimum. Today, the store tallied the applications across our 3 stores, and the male-to-female ratio is now roughly 1 to 9, 1 man to 9 women. And there's this ridiculous phenomenon. Regardless of the woman's qualifications, they all require the man to be at least 1.75 meters tall, have an annual salary of at least $40,000, own a car and a house in Shanghai, and be a Shanghai resident with an ID card starting with 310. So I went to ask and he said, "Where am I tall? How am I supposed to live without a home? How am I supposed to get around without a car? How am I supposed to support a family without savings?" This series of fatal questions left me speechless. I thought, if you have nothing, how can you expect others to have everything? The story of a 30-year-old Shanghai Jiao Tong University master's student's blind date. I am a 30-year-old algorithm engineer from the School of Electrical Engineering at Shanghai Jiaotong University, originally from a small town in Inner Mongolia. At 28, on the eve of my wedding photo shoot, I was abruptly dumped by my boyfriend of 5 years from our college days. 2 years later, when I finally moved on and wanted to get married again, I discovered that this was the cruelest age for marriage in Shanghai. My work environment is full of male science and engineering students, but once I passed the hurdle of 30, there were very few unmarried men of marriageable age, as if they had been screened. The blogger said she downloaded a dating app. Everyone on the page looked glamorous, from financial elites in Lu Jiaizui to tech gurus in Yangpu. It seems like there are so many choices, but in reality, everyone is very busy. From matching to meeting, half a month passed. In Shanghai, it's easy for two people to meet, but difficult for them to fall in love. Later, she met her husband through a blind date. Their dates were simple, meals, walks, and chats, but they gradually discovered a strong connection in their values. A year later, they naturally got married. She said that meeting such a reliable and dependable man was her greatest fortune. As a 1995-born Shanghai drifter planning to save $140,000, this week I'm going to meet a boy introduced by a colleague. Because it's our first meeting and we're not very familiar with each other, we've arranged to go for a walk in the park. Today, I plan to go to Huilongtan Park to enjoy the autumn scenery, and I've been putting on makeup and leaving early this morning. This boy is from Shanghai, 6 years older than me, and works at a large factory. He works as a programmer. He's actually quite patient. He took photos for me and kept retaking them if I wasn't satisfied. The reason we haven't met yet is that his age is a bit beyond my expectations. I originally planned for someone 3 years my senior. Also, my life plan is to save enough money to go back to my hometown, so I'm more inclined to find a Sichuan boy. The blogger said that if she dated a Shanghai guy, she might have to face the issue of buying a new condo for marriage, and she felt her family couldn't help in this regard because Shanghai's housing prices are too high. She felt she was thinking a bit too far ahead, so she decided to meet him as an ordinary friend first, and as for what happens in the future, she'll let nature take its course. This blogger is a matchmaker. She chatted with a 35-year-old woman working in the public sector. Hello, beautiful lady. You just came from Wansong Academy? Yes, I took a stroll around there. You have a great figure. What year were you born? Me? 35 years old. You're 35? Not likely. You look so young. How come you've been waiting until now? Before, I was picky. Then I couldn't find anyone good, so I've been waiting until now. What do you do for a living? I'm a civil servant. That's great. How tall are you? 1.75 meters. Wow, how much do you earn a year? We earn about $35,000 altogether, including benefits. The matchmaker asked her, "What are your requirements for a man?" The woman said, "His annual income should be similar to mine or higher than mine." The matchmaker then asked, "Can you accept someone with a lower income?" The lady said, "No way. If he's younger than me, then I'd have to support him. How could that be possible?" In the comments section, a netizen commented, "There's a misconception among leftover women that they think men with good financial conditions still like 35-year-old women." I am that leftover woman in other people's eyes, over 30 and still unmarried. At the end of March, I moved from my hometown to Shanghai alone and started my life as a Shanghai drifter. I'm 31 and still unmarried. My colleagues all say I'm still young and not in a hurry. There are plenty of single people older than me. On my days off, I either meet up with single friends who share my values or I go out alone. Exhibitions, plays, movies, stand-up comedy, and markets. There are so many fun activities that I don't have time to worry. Back home, I felt like I was in a zone completely unapproachable by the opposite sex. Sometimes I'd think, it's because I'm getting older, nobody likes me anymore. But after coming to Shanghai, I discovered that at 31, I'm still very charming, even more popular than when I was 20. Girls from other places who want to marry into Shanghai families never mention bride price to Shanghai men. Many girls feel that their parents raised them for so many years. After years of hard work, asking for $30,000 wouldn't be unreasonable, right? But in Shanghai, that's not the norm. In the suburbs, the most you'd give is $10,000 and $14,000 is considered rare. That amount can't even buy a parking space in Shanghai. What does it prove? And here's the even more heartbreaking part. Many Shanghai families not only don't give a bride price, but the bride's family is expected to provide a dowry. This isn't about the amount of money, it's about using your own hometown's customs to challenge someone else's lifelong marriage traditions.
或者说是
I just got home from a blind date and I feel like I'm about to collapse. The guy I met tonight is a PhD student, works as a research institute in Shanghai, born in 1991, quite good looking, and 1.8 meters tall. Actually, given these qualities, most people would think he's extremely outstanding. Yes, I admit he is. We had been chatting for a while beforehand. He picked me up from work after his shift and then took me out for dinner. The blogger said that everything seemed fine at first, but when he actually talked face to face, she found that he was very quiet. They could hardly find anything to talk about, and communication was extremely difficult. This made her realize that they weren't compatible. She said that she had been on 4 blind dates so far. Regardless of how much time and energy she invested, she goes to each meeting with high expectations, only to leave disappointed, leaving her family somewhat disheartened.
做一个30多岁的女光棍儿。
As a single woman in her 30s, I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. I regretfully want to say something very, very sincere to all the girls in their 20s who are still in school or have already graduated. Don't rush into marriage at such a young and naive age. Don't focus all your energy on dating, finding a partner, or pursuing relationships unless you come from a very high social class or a very wealthy family.
你的原生家庭阶层很高。
The blogger says that if you come from an ordinary family, then before the age of 30, you must focus your main energy on improving your survival skills. Don't rush into marriage to escape the pressures of life. After all, if the marriage is unhappy, you will still face the same difficulties a few years later. So, instead of pinning your hopes on marriage, it's better to steadily improve yourself. I often tell the young women around me, as long as you don't decide to remain single, find a partner as soon as possible. Actually, when you're in your 20s, your outlook on life isn't settled yet, and you really can't make any decisions. We're all ordinary people. Face reality early. After all, it's not like you can succeed immediately just by dating someone. A girl's youth is precious. Don't become an older single woman and regret it later.
有些男生啊，
Some guys think that as long as they wait until a woman is older and anxious to get married, her family will pressure her to lower her standards, and then they can snag a partner who is both beautiful and financially successful. To be honest, this idea is really unrealistic. There are many mature women in Shanghai now who can live fulfilling lives on their own. They are financially independent, don't need anyone to support them, and have clear minds. They know what they want. On weekends, they either go to the gym to lift weights, take classes to learn new skills, or meet up with friends to go to exhibitions and travel. They fill their lives to the brim. For them, marriage is never about completing a task, but about finding someone they can connect with and who respects them.
我今年36岁。
I am 36 this year, an older leftover woman, still unmarried. I have noticed I'm getting older and older. After turning 30, you can see wrinkles around my eyes, not to mention a double chin. It's really tough now. It's so hard for an older single woman like me to get married. I often think that maybe I'll only be able to grow old alone. My single status isn't due to low emotional intelligence, being unable to forget anyone, or having high standards. I'm not that complicated. I just know more clearly what I want instead of just randomly dating someone.
而不是随便找个人就可以试试的。
The blogger says that the life of an older single woman isn't as carefree as it's portrayed online. She had no one to take care of her when she was sick. She gets up at 4:30 every morning to bake bread, then goes out to sell it at a stall to earn a living. She has to bear everything on her own. Everyone knows the economic climate of the past few years. Life is indeed difficult. There are even more people setting up stalls than going to the market, making competition fierce, income limited, and life extremely difficult. No leftover woman in her late 30s is innocent. Recently, many unmarried women in their 30s have come to me for help, and I found that age is their least significant problem. For example, yesterday, a girl born in 1988 said, "It's not that I can't get married, it's just that I haven't found the right person." I asked her, "What are your requirements?" She said, "I don't have any requirements as long as I like them." Then I asked her, "Do you like guys who don't own a house or a car?" She said, "At this age, not owning a house or a car means you're not capable enough." I asked her, "Do you like guys who are ugly or under 1.7 meters tall?" The girl said, "I don't require them to be super handsome, but they can't be too ugly either, and they have to be at least 1.75 meters tall." I then asked her, "Do you like guys who earn $14,000 a year?" She said, "The salary is too low. We can't guarantee our quality of life. Raising children, tuition, family expenses, social obligations, etc. A guy's annual salary should be at least $30,000. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.